Hi everybody on YouTube, it's Rainstorm, and today I thought I was going to do a video about smoking, as it seems to be a hot topic at the moment. Anyway, what I was going to talk about is I smoke rolling tobacco, which isn't quite as bad as cigarettes, you know, normal made cigarettes, because they mess around with normal cigarettes. They have this mother liquor that they create out of all the scrapings off the floor and all the tobacco you get back to the factory. Then they spray it onto paper, shred it up and mix it in with the tobacco or the cigarettes, and so you're smoking that, which doesn't help. And also they use radioactive fertiliser. Unfortunately they use radioactive fertiliser on this as well, and in the shop I tried to buy some organic tobacco, but it's very difficult and they didn't sell any. The other problem is with tobacco, most of the carcinogens are produced when tobacco is cured, when it goes like a darker colour. If you were to smoke green tobacco, it's not as bad for you. Anyway, nonetheless, we all know that smoking is bad. And the other thing is, in our country, you get these things on the tobacco. Look. You can see that, look, there's someone's body being cut open, is it their heart? Well, you see, they don't put this on alcohol. I mean, how much problem does alcohol cause in this country? But no, alcohol doesn't have any silly little pictures on it of people dying. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was my electric cigarette. I've had this for quite a while and I did use it for a bit. Now the problem with these is they're not proven either, so you don't know whether it's safe. But after using it, I would say you do notice your lungs clear up. And the other thing with it is the cost of smoking goes down as well. Smoking is getting quite expensive in this country. At the moment, that packet costs £3.20. So you get 12.5 grams of tobacco, £3.20. Whereas these things, I forget how much they were. They're like £10 a bottle, I think. And these last ages. Now, because the nicotine is so much higher as well, you can choose which ones you want. So what you do is you start off with a high, then you use that for a bit, and then you work down to a medium, use that for a bit, and then you work down to a low, so like normal nicotine patches. I quite like it. I mean, it's not quite the same as smoking, but I do quite like it. It's something to have in your hand. You can use it anywhere. You can use this in the pubs and stuff, because it's essentially a vaporizer. The other thing to think about is these things have been invented since at least the 60s. So that's another thing to question. You know, why has it taken this long for it to come to market? Well, anyway, what you do with it is you have this cartridge in here, and in this bit I have two types. I have one that's called Virginia, which actually I prefer the one that says tobacco. Where are we? It's the tobacco one. So inside here you have your little dropper. If I can do it with my left hand, and then just like 2 or 3 drips you put in there, because you don't want to put loads in. Right, and then you just put this bit in here. And there you go. And then this bit on the end is the battery. I'll just take it apart so you can see the rest of it. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but inside it has like a little bit, it looks like a bit of wire wool. And all that happens is the battery makes the wire wool hot. And then in the, this is the battery. That obviously screws on. You get a recharger, you get 2 batteries with it. So one can always be on the charger and one can always be with the cigarette. And then in here, what it is it's glycol. And glycol boils at really low temperature, like 30 or 40 degrees centigrade, something like that. So that enables it to be vaporized. What I'll do is I'll put it back together and I'll show you what the smoke is like that you get out of it. Well, it's vapor, it's not smoke. Okay, so we'll give it a go. And it does look like smoke. So yeah, the main problem is it's untested. Yeah, so my overall conclusion is basically it's untested, so how safe is it compared to normal cigarettes? I don't know. But the idea is to use it to quit smoking, not to replace smoking. I think that's the best way to use it, because obviously it being untested, you don't know how safe it is as well. So I think it's a good thing to start off with your high nicotine, and then go on to your medium, and then go on to your low, and then they do one that has no nicotine in it. So if you've got used to using the thing, you can use a no nicotine one. But it does produce enough smoke. There's lots of different ones. I did buy another one and it was smaller, but it didn't have enough battery power. So that you got to buy the slightly bigger ones because they don't have enough oomph, the smaller ones. They look nicer and they look more like a cigarette, but they don't work as well. So this one is a little bit bigger and people say, well, that's massive. And it's like, well, unfortunately, it has to be this big for it to work. So I'll basically give this a go and I'll carry on with the update, and we'll see how quitting smoking goes. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to 100%, but I'm definitely going to try and cut down, and we'll see what happens. Okay, this is Rainstorm signing off.